Here at Quail Botanical Gardens, we take water conservation very seriously, and one of the aspects that we're working on here right now is to get into some recycled water. Not good for us to drink, but there's a lot of plants out there that really do work well with recycled water. And the man that knows all about it is Mike Thornton.
Hi,
Mike,
Julian.
how are you doing? Mike is the Executive Director of the San Elijo Joint Power Authority, and you folks produce the recycled water.
Yes, we do.
Start me out to where does the recycled water come from? I mean, where do we recycle it from?
Well, where it comes from is our sinks, our homes, our industry. We treat it to a high level of treatment. It becomes recycled water from there. So instead of just discharging back into the ocean or a river as wastewater, we recycle it as part of a water supply.
Great. We get to use the water at least twice that way.
Exactly.
Right? Exactly.
We import this water from hundreds of miles away. We should use it more than once.
Things are color-coded here, right, for recycled water, right? So
we want to make sure we can clearly communicate with all plumbers, landscapers, that this is recycled water. It's not drinking water, it's recycled water, and the color code we use for our system is purple. With recycled water, you typically find that you have more dissolved solids, or what we refer to as salts.
Okay.
And so you have to keep that in mind in the type of plants that you use that are using this water.
So like in our Mediterranean climate areas where plants naturally come from areas where there's a high alkalinity in the soil, they should be just as happy as clams with this stuff,
Exactly,
right?
exactly. Besides the botanical gardens, we have other customers such as homeowner associations for their green belts, golf courses, athletic fields, parks. We have a lot of uses for this water. Again, it's not drinking water,
Right.
but we're able to use it in such a way that it conserves more drinking water for drinking.
I'm really encouraged by this because you guys at the San Elijo Joint Power Authority are helping Quail Botanical Gardens walk the talk of water conservation. Thank you, Mike.
And Julian, we appreciate your help in this program.
Part of my frustration is with our headlong rush for modernity to make everything new and better. We've forgotten some of the good old practices that really did work, as simple as a cistern. We have these gigantic homes with roofs that really are perfect water catchment vehicles. I think, and I've been surprised that there hasn't been more of a move, especially in a low rain area like San Diego, to water catchment, whether it's a cistern or actual tanks on properties. It can be as simple as taking all the downspouts from a house and focusing them into one area with a little sump pump and then into a tank. It may not provide all the water we need for our home and washing and drinking and things like that, but if it helps with irrigation even a little bit, then it's water that hasn't run off into the ocean.
Some of our irrigation practices not only waste water, but they're also the reason why we have beach bluff erosion here. In fact, they weaken the bluffs and they end up falling in. Also, the water that I'm walking through right now actually isn't rainwater, it's all runoff water, which also brings a lot of fertilizers and other pollutants that raise the bacteria levels in the water that cause us to have to produce signs like this on a regular basis in our beaches. If we use the water more wisely, this wouldn't be a problem. I'm here at a huge construction project, all geared up for it here, to meet up with Eric Larson. Eric is the Executive Director of the San Diego County Farm Bureau.
Right. Hi, Julian. How you doing?
I'm doing fine. What is going on here?
Well, you're right. This is a big construction project. This is the Lake Hodges to Olivenhain pipeline project, and as the name implies, it's going to connect Lake Hodges to Olivenhain Dam. And it's just one of a long stream of construction projects that have been done in Southern California since the 1800s to create a reliable water supply for us.
Because the water isn't found right here, right?
The water's not here. The water's imported here. We have to find places to store it, and then we have to move it around.
The energy needs too. I guess this is, you know, if we're importing water here, this takes electricity to get the water here and move it around too, right?
If you think about it, our water comes from the Colorado River or it comes from the Sacramento Delta.
Right.
And that water has to be moved hundreds of miles. Water's heavy if you've ever carried a bucket of water, so it takes a lot of energy to move water around. And so it's extremely expensive. So the less water we use, the less energy we use as well.
Now, a lot of the water we know is for home use, and about half of that goes to landscapes here. Now, how does that relate to the agriculture? I know you represent the farmers here in San Diego County. How does that relate to the water they need and use?
Well, farmers, of course, use that imported water as well, just like the homeowners do, but it's very expensive, so we really conserve. We don't use a whole lot of water if we don't have to, because the farmers, it comes right out of their profit. But one thing that's really important about conservation is the water we use in our home comes from someplace. It comes from the environment, or we buy it from farmers and transfer it over to San Diego County. So any water we save is actually water that gets to stay in the environment or stay where it's watering crops.
Well, this is really impressive, Eric, but you know, my little faucet at home, it makes it awfully hard to relate to pipes this big and the fact that we're going through this incredible effort to make water available and I guess accessible to us, but obviously we need to turn down that spigot on our landscape.
We got to do that. See, the history of water in San Diego County is very interesting. We've built dams, we've built pipes, we've built canals. That's been going on since the 1800s, ever since they built the first missions in San Diego County. Right, yeah. The problem is the water is a finite supply. There's only so much water. So we're getting the end of the time when we can actually build our way into a water supply. We have to start conserving to make sure the water we do have goes as far as it possibly can.
The Water Authority is planning on this community conserving 100,000 acre-feet of water by 2030 in our various conservation programs. 100,000 acre-feet would serve 200,000 homes in San Diego County for a year. So that's a lot of conservation. It's going to take quite a bit of time for us to do that. We are going to have to do some retraining of landscape architects. We're going to have to train our homeowners on how to efficiently use their irrigation system. And we're going to have to convince people that you can have beautiful landscaping, but it can also be water efficient. And I think that the Quail Botanical Gardens and the Water Conservation Garden are prime examples of areas where you can see beauty, but highly efficient water use.
For more information, visit the website of the San Diego County Water Authority at sdcwa.org. The Water Conservation Garden at thegarden.org. Quail Botanical Gardens at qbgardens.org. BeWaterwise.com and 20gallonchallenge.com.